All right, you already know what it is. Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. It is me, the illustrious one, Professor Lake, in the building, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit the notification icon. Get notified every time I flip out a video. So, you know, the day before the draft, and did a couple mock simulators just to see how things would run. And, you know, there's room to trade back. There's players all over the board. Yeah, definitely you wish you had a first round draft pick, and but in the areas of need and where we're going to be drafting, we can still do things to help out our team. So I'm gonna go round by round, you know, not doing the first round. We're just gonna do the Bears draft rounds as they are without any trade backs. But I really think that Ryan Poles is going to be doing some trading back in the draft tomorrow, you know, so look for that happening. So players the Bears should look at, you know, eyeballing in the second round, in my opinion. You know, I still think that wide receiver is the priority. And since we have another second round pick, I would prefer to use that on the offensive line. I think that Alec Pierce takes precedence if he's available in the second round at that 39th pick. So I think the Bears are going to go with Alec Pierce there. Then I would believe the Bears will go offensive line, maybe get a guy like Kenyon Green or Tyler Smith. But guys I think the Bears could take in the second round should be like Alec Pierce, Tyler Smith, Kenyon Green, George Pickens, and Christian Watson in that order, right? That's my rankings of players I think that the Bears should take in the second round. I think they will be available. So you're trying to get guys that you want in your building. You're trying to get guys that are going to fill some needs on your team because you got a lot of holes. And eventually when you bring in competition, the cream is going to rise to the top. Now in the third round, players that I've looked at and I think that the Bears will be able to get their hands on in the third round would be offensive line help and, you know, some depth at wide receiver, and you might be able to find your starting safety. So in this order, you know, I have the Bears being able to draft a guy like safety Nick Cross, tackle Nick Pettit-Ferrer from Ohio State, Rashad Walker from offensive tackle from Penn State. You might be able to get your hands on Jahan Dotson. I'm not sure if he'll fall that far down, but we pick at the beginning of the third round. So if he's available, you know, I can see the Bears looking at a guy like that in that round. And Daniel Falele, he's a big guy. And, you know, you don't want to let somebody slip through the cracks that's just going to mow people over at that right tackle position. Now, he does have some technique and skills that he needs to brush up on before he could really come out there and play against NFL edge rushers. But he's a work in progress. And, you know, I wouldn't mind the Bears taking a chance on this guy. Maybe if they were able to trade back and get multiple picks, maybe in the fourth round or something, I could see the Bears taking a guy like that. But, you know, some of the other guys I just mentioned weren't available. I could see the Bears going that route. Now, since we don't have a fourth round pick, again, you know, fill some needs, some guys that can step in and play. You know, you can find your safety in a Yusef Corker. You can find Allen Robinson style of receiver in Dontario Drummond. You can find you another Darnell Mooney and Danny Gray. You know, and these are people that'll be depth pieces, mind you. I'm just saying people that have similar play styles that we could kind of relate to. And then there's a tight end, Jalen Weidemeyer, that will be available. And I don't think we have a dynamic pass-catching tight end on the Bears roster right now. So I think Jalen Weidemeyer will be a decent pick in the fifth round. And I think he'll be available there too. In the sixth round, you know, again, filling needs. I haven't really addressed the secondary except for safety positions, but I think the cornerback prospects that are out there that are really good have already been taken. But these are guys that could be special team players. These are also guys that could also, you know, maybe mid-season, later towards the season, if they need to step in there, play some defense for you. And, you know, if we haven't addressed the offensive line at this point, you know, there's an offensive lineman I threw in there that I think that we could probably pick out that sixth round. But in this order, I think that the Bears should look at Smoke Monday. You know, he's a safety. If we haven't addressed our safety needs at that point and he's still available, I think that's a guy we could bring to Chicago. Cornerbacks, Al-Khalib Evans and Tariq Castro Fields, they made some plays for their teams. I think that these are some guys that, you know, will learn the defense. I think that since we played a 4-3 cover 2, I think that will give them some room to, you know, learn and understand, you know, the concept of reading plays, breaking on the ball, anticipation, and things of that nature. So it's going to take some time to understand NFL offenses and a lot of film study, so you could be, you know, better at reacting to what you see. But these are some guys I think could be very formidable, maybe at the end of the season, year or two. You know, if there's Thayer Munford available, he's an offensive guard from Ohio State. You know, I say you bring him in. You know, definitely somebody that would be familiar with Justin Fields. And even if we have drafted a lot of offensive linemen before this, I think that, you know, that's a big area of need, and we have to address it. You know, there's other tight ends and things like that that might be out there that will be available for the Bears in the 6th round. Isaiah Likely, Jeremy Rucker, you know, so we'll have our opportunities to help Justin Fields out if necessary, if we want to go that route. But there you have it. You know, these are just some guys. I know there's other players out there that people are looking at, but I know that if the Bears were to draft one person from each of these rankings per round that I just set up, I know we'd have a lot of happy Bear fans. So, you know, I'll leave you guys with that. It's Fourth Quarter Boyz Sports. I am the illustrious one, Professor Lake, in the building, man. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Be a Fourth Quarter Boy for life. Hit the notification icon. Get notified every time I flip out a video. 1.